This is a video I've been wanting to make for a very long time, where I explain to you the reasons as to why I attack a certain way, why I finish a certain way, why I shoot the shots I do, what I'm looking for when I'm playing. And I know many of you have seen this video of me dominating some competition, so I want you to understand and have a better feel for why you do certain things on the court. And so for instance, when I have this player closing out hard, I attack the left side, and then I notice that their foot crosses over really hard. And so right at this moment, I know that if I change directions, that whole middle side is open. I'm not worried about the help here. And so now you can also notice that I carry the ball with one hand, bring it out and finish. And this is where many youth players make the mistake of rocking the ball in their finishes back to the side where the help is. And this is why I talk about pickups all the time and why it's important to understand how to protect the ball when going into the finish. And so that's why I held it with one hand there. In this next example here, I've been shooting the ball really well all game. So I already know just by standing up and looking at the basket, I can get that defender out of his stance. I then drop down really low through the legs and I explode past him. What I see here is that I'm already past my primary defender and I'm not worried about the help side defender because there's a huge gap and he's not committing to me. So I slam the ball, tuck it really tight against my chest and jump into my primary defender. And so jumping into him allows me to open up the gap between them even more. Instead of just trying to split it, I make that gap a little bit wider and then I extend that finish to the outside. If the help side defender committed all the way, I would have just settled for a pull-up or kicked it out to my teammate. And so here, I wanted to go left, but you can notice that the defender overcommitted way too hard on that left side. So now as I bring the ball back to the right hand, I notice a huge gap to my right side. And so here's where I make my decision to go right. But when I try to blow past him to the right side, I don't actually get in front of him, or I don't get him on my side, or I don't get the position that I want. So instead of trying to split this, where I would force a turnover here, I rise up and get over my defense to then shoot this mid-range pull-up. Now, mind you, I've been shooting very difficult shots all game, so anytime I look at the rim, my defense is going to jump. Again, I drive to the left, and I notice that the defense doesn't help, and they don't overcommit to me. So I tuck the ball in, I split the gap, and I have a wide open left-hand layup. If he would have overcommitted, then I would have either had to settle for a pull-up, or kick the ball out, or just retreat out of there. But again, because I was shooting all game very difficult shots, anytime that I look at the rim, my defense will jump, I'll open up an angle for attack, and then for instance, when I drive, I don't get the position that I want. I'm not in front of my defense, the help side overcommits, so I just pull up in front of them. These next few examples are just a few clips of me knocking down shots, right? And so these shots specifically just pop out, knock it down, set screens, move, etc., off the bounce, step back, it doesn't really matter. But all of these shots that I'm shooting, it is letting them know as a defense that you cannot give me room to shoot it. And so that's the reason that anytime I was looking at the hoop later, they were jumping every single time. And there was no way that they were able to guard me. I didn't really have to do much. I just looked at it, maybe even rose the ball a little bit on a pump fake, and it opened up everything that I wanted to drive. And so the reason why I'm so confident to take and hit these shots is because I work on them every single day. Shoot with perfect form, shoot every day. That's all I ever tell you guys. And if you just do that, there's no microwave to success. These took years and years and years just to be able to hit them effortlessly, no problem, no issues with anyone in my face, it doesn't really matter. And so doing all these things will then set up what I wanted to get later. And so here, the moment that I look at the rim, you can notice he's out of his stance. That's all I had to do was just look at it. And then it's use my off arm, blow right past him, get an easy layup. And you'll notice in the next clip, the same thing happens as well. I hit him with a little jab step, I look up at the rim, and it opens up my angles for my drives. And so what I love about this take here is that you can notice that the moment that I blow by, you can see that my offhand is ready to remove his off of me. And I know that he's trying to hold me back and slow down my drive by putting his hand on me. So I remove it off of me, and then I get up as quickly as possible, taking one step instead of two, and extending the ball to the rim with my inside hand, instead of having to take two steps and then finish with the right there. Here I notice that the help side defender is actually a pretty good defender, and so I want to stay away from him if possible. So I decide to cross over and attack the left side because I know that I can take this defender no problem. Unfortunately, he actually does a pretty good job of cutting me off. But now that I've separated the two defenders, I already know that if I spin back middle, there's a ton of room and I'll have no issues getting this layup. If for some reason the help side defender came all the way over, that's the easiest kick out in the world and my teammate's in the corner, give it to him and he'll knock it down, or I will at least get a good shot off. Now, when I get into the post against players my size, even a little bit taller, a little bit shorter, I'm very comfortable turning and shooting. One, because I have a nice high set point and I'm really good at squaring up in the air. So here you can see I'm not squared, the ball's far away, I square up in the air, and then I rise, turn, and shoot the ball completely straight into the hoop. And this is something that I work on every day. So I have no problem shooting this. In fact, I really like this shot. Now, because I just turned baseline on the last one, I will use that to fake baseline and then open up my middle. On game point here, I look at the rim and it moves him out of his stance. You can see him start to stand up. So the only way he's able to recover here is to try to reach because he can't get low enough in time. I can blow past him and get a layup, but this is just me having fun. We needed 2 points to win and I was hot, so I wanted to hit the shot. But, that's not something I would really teach. If it was a real, if we really needed it, I would have just got the layup. Now, I do hope this helps you out and to understand a little bit more of how to see the floor and what you're looking for and how to attack and be more aggressive in games. Thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.